Thank you for coming out this afternoon in support of Savannah and her family. Today, we're coming together as family and friends and the first responders to celebrate the life of Savannah K. Lautenbach, whose life, as you know, was suddenly taken at such a young age of 22. And as we will hear from family and friends today about her life's impact on so many of you, and you know the story in which she has marked you in many, many ways. We will also hear not only about her career path in law enforcement as what we've just witnessed, which was the career path of her father, Todd, as a sheriff. A dad should never outlive his daughter. And mom, Karen, who was a 9/11 dispatcher for 30 years, served our community. We are honored by the legacy. We will hear about her love for her sister, Tara, who was her best friend and roommate, and her love for her younger sister, Tiana, as well as grandmother and aunts and uncles and cousins and families. We know this is not the place we want to be. But also her love for our community, being raised here in the Gresham area, going to Barlow High School. Teachers are here, some of the classmates are here, those of you that went to school with her, and so many of you, you know the story. And so what we're going to do is right now is to continue to honor Savannah in that I would ask that we would get ready for the presentation of the colors as we talk about, get ready for her life story. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the colors and the singing of the national anthem.
Ready, up, ready, face, present, arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the
this is where we say, you can be seated. I don't know that. That wasn't part of the script, but I'm going to ad-lib here for a minute. That was beautiful. I don't think I've ever been to a funeral where we started off with the national anthem, but I think every funeral should be that way. It's beautiful. Good afternoon. My name is Troy Lautenbach. I'm Savannah's uncle and Todd's much smaller big brother. Unfortunately, we are here to celebrate the vibrant, smiling young lady who was taken from us much too early, Savannah. But I do know that Savannah today would have very, very big FOMO going on. That's fear of missing out for you that don't know that acronym. Because the Sheriff's Department, what they're doing here today is absolutely incredibly beautiful. I look around and I see people she respected and worked with, studied with, cried with, but most of all, celebrated and laughed with. And yes, we mourn Savannah today, but I believe that she would want us to celebrate, remember, laugh, smile, as we celebrate the short time that we are blessed to have her in our lives. In celebration of Savannah, I've been honored to tell a few stories, share a few stories of Savannah that some of you have shared with me, and I'm going to try to put my words as to your stories around this. Little did we know when Savannah came up in late January to celebrate with us Todd's induction into our high school Hall of Fame, Athletic Hall of Fame. It was her farewell tour as well. God works in mysterious ways. Her younger Hanson cousins wanted me to share that she played Foursquare that weekend with them. And that afterwards, Savannah said, "That was so fun. I haven't played Foursquare since I was in middle school." And the kids were all, "Oh, she was so fun, Mom and Dad." I got to see her at Todd's Hall of Fame ceremony at the basketball game. And as she was walking up the bleachers, I'll never forget that great big huge smile that Savannah always has. Coming up the stairs, big hugs for all the aunts and uncles, cousins, sits down. Later on that night, she was at her cousin, my daughter McKenna's house, sharing pizza and whatever else that 20-year-olds do. And I called because I was trying to get an invite to the party, but luckily my wife Erica has a little better sense than I do and says they don't really want to hang around an old guy right now. But we got to talk to her for a few minutes on the phone, and it was incredible how excited she was about starting her new step in her career. And she was about to be sworn in a couple of days, and she was just so excited. And at that moment, we felt so much pride in that she decided to follow in her folks' footsteps and dedicate her life to public service and make the world a better place. But that was Savannah, making the world a better place. The next day, she got to spend the day in the car with her dad, taking the 5-hour trip back to Portland, just the two of them. As a father, I can imagine putting myself in your shoes, Todd, and think to myself, boy, how bad I would want to have that drive back. Todd was so proud of her, Savannah, and the career that she has chosen. Savannah's always made time for her family, whether it's a Foursquare with the younger cousins or a late night ciders and beer with their older cousins, or maybe going to plant shop or walk on the beach or whatever else. She was always there, happy and really fun. We are thankful for that weekend. For all of us that knew Savannah well, she was a great kid. Todd wanted me to share the story of when Tara and Savannah were little, and Tara had a binky. She was that little, and it was her favorite binky. got it right down to the nubbins because she just would not let go of that thing. And Savannah says, hey, we've had enough of this. Grabbed the banking, threw it out the car window. Well, chaos. Todd, screaming Tara. So it's time Todd says, I got to turn this car around, turns it around and finds the binky on the road. Probably washed it off, I hope. And gave it back to Tara, and everything was okay at that point. Todd says this is the only time that he's ever seen, that he can ever remember that Savannah was in trouble for anything. Savannah's mom, Karen, said to me how much Savannah loved cider, beer, and pizza. She really did. And which last night, a few of us got to share at Stark's Pizza, her favorite pizza place. She also mentioned that Savannah got her OCD from her mom. Everything needed to be in much order, which makes sense as to why she was so successful, just like her mom. She had a plan: go to school, get good grades, graduate, get a job in law enforcement, since, there's a little bit of OCD in law enforcement, is there not? She even needled her dad that she was going to make sergeant by 25. And I don't think any of us doubted if anybody could do that, Savannah surely could. As Karen says, Savannah was wise beyond her years. She was a North Star for her sisters Tara and Tia. Tara recently mentioned that she had a situation where she texted her mom, I really need Savannah right now to help me through the situation that I have to go through. And Tia, I said, and Tara, you knew what you had to do because, sorry, I'm losing a little bit here. But Tara, you did know what to do because you knew exactly what Savannah would have done. And that's exactly what you did. You did the right thing. And Tia, I know she was always a text away when you needed advice, when you needed advice, which I know was important to you. But remember, she is inside of you both, and she has left you both with the tools you need to make tough decisions, deal with difficult situations, and live a happy and fulfilling life. That's all that she would want for you. Savannah was always smiling, happy, and so positive. We are all going to miss that deeply. Valentine's Day will now forever have a different meaning. A heart quit working on that heart day. Why? We'll never know. But I do know heaven has a smile up there as bright as the sun, and our grandparents are basking in that today. And now I'm going to read the eulogy that her mom, Karen, has prepared. Savannah K. Lautenbach, 22, passed away on February 14th, 2023. Savannah was born on May 1, 2000 to Todd and Karen Lautenbach in Portland, Oregon. She grew up on a farm in East Multnomah County. She loved to be outside, ride her gator, and play with her beloved dog, Sunny. Savannah attended preschool at Mount Hood Christian Church, where she also participated in the Missionette program through Kids Church. It was a preschool where she met our dear friend, Denise, who made Savannah the quilt that comforted her in her last days with us. Athletically and academically gifted, in high school, Savannah attended the Center for Academic Learning with an interest in medicine and completed CNA training. She also played varsity basketball and club volleyball. Savannah graduated from Sam Barlow High School in 2018. She went on to study at Portland State University and graduated with a double major in psychology and criminology, receiving her bachelor's degree with honors in 2021. Savannah worked at Heidi's of Gresham throughout high school, then worked at Portland Providence to explore her interest in medicine. Then her interest changed, and she explored a career in public service. In 2022, she was hired as a records technician for the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. Once she found a place with MCSO, she knew she was on the right path. She was promoted and sworn in as corrections deputy in January 2023. Family meant everything to Savannah. She enjoyed family camping trips and boating. Savannah loved celebrating holidays and birthdays. She rarely missed Sunday dinner with close family and friends. Those weekly gatherings made Sunday her favorite day of the week. Her mom talked about that last night as we were sharing pizza. Savannah loved to travel, especially to visit her extended family in Lyndon, Washington. She make these trips with her sister and best friend, Tara. Financially savvy, she purchased a home in Vancouver in July 2022. She loved photography, walks in nature, animals, travel, and shopping. She gave the best gifts. Savannah had a joyful, infectious laugh. She laughed a lot. She lived big and bold every day. And she made so many great friends from high school sports, a wonderful youth group, serving on the City of Gresham's Youth Advisory Council, in addition to the many great classmates and co-workers Savannah valued over the years. Savannah is survived by her father, Todd, mother, Karen, sister, Tara and Tiana, grandmothers, Evelyn Lautenbach, Terry Murray, numerous aunts, uncles, and cousins. We cannot express how grateful we are for the love and tremendous support we have received from the people in our lives who we know love Savannah also.
I have to bring this down a little bit, I think. Good afternoon, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Eric Logue. I'm a deputy with the Sheriff's Office, uncle to Savannah. I may repeat a few things that Troy just said. We didn't exchange notes before he came here today. But like I told Troy yesterday, I said if it's worth saying once, it's worth saying a million times, right? Okay, here we go. The first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to give thanks. Sometimes in life, when you're faced with struggles, tragedy, and you're suffering, it's difficult to give thanks. But it's what we have right here that makes the difference. First, I'd like to thank Good Shepherd for allowing us the facility and to pull all this off. MCSO, from the first response to the continued support that they've shown, it's been overwhelming and immeasurable. To TIP and Peer Support, EAP, Honor Guard, Fallen Badge Foundation, the family thanks you from the bottom of their hearts. The biggest thing that I am thankful for is the ability that I had to spend time with Savannah.
And I think we could all say that. Whether it was a 5-hour car ride from Washington, or hanging out and playing with the kitty boys, or the guinea pigs, going to the state fair, whatever it was memorable. And I thank God for that ability to be with Savannah, even if it was a short time. Savannah was the type of person who left an impact on the people that she was around. And it didn't matter if you knew her for a lifetime, for a year, a couple of weeks, or maybe even just a chance meeting. It didn't matter. She made people feel welcome. She made people feel like she genuinely had interest in their lives. And I'm going to miss that. She was a people person. And when I say that, I don't mean like miss popularity, trying to, be the life of the party. But when she was with you, she was with you. And that felt comforting and it felt right. Some of the memories that I have, and maybe the family can share in this as well, is Thanksgiving, birthdays, Easter, Christmas, Sunday family dinners, which Troy alluded to. All those mainly took place at her aunt and uncle's house, Don and Christine, who have continuously opened their doors to people. One memory in particular, or a few memories, but one during Easter, her grandma Terry would fill all these plastic Easter eggs full of money, right? So coins and dollars and all this stuff. And myself, my brother, my wife, Kat, we'd go out there, we'd hide all the eggs. All the kids would love, searching the yard for all these Easter eggs because they knew they were going to get rich, right? And when I say a bunch of eggs, I mean like 100 to 150. I mean, it was ridiculous, right? So the kids were really, really excited. Savannah, she loved counting up the money at the end of the day. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just being with her siblings, or maybe she just liked money. I don't know. But that was one thing she really liked to do. As they got older, though, the coins, maybe dollar bills, they didn't seem so important anymore, because Grandma Terry came up with this idea, and that was giving a golden egg, right? To like there's this one golden egg, right? Kind of like Willy Wonka or something, but one golden egg, and they'd hide it in a really, really hard place in the yard, and that was the prize, right, that everyone wanted to get, right? So they kind of bypassed the little eggs with all the money in it, right? And they took off trying to find the golden egg. But even still, Savannah still liked counting up the money at the end. So Christmas gatherings, ugly sweater contests, and family dinners and singing carols. I would play piano, and everyone would be lined up in their ugly sweater, ugly sweaters, and they'd belt it out. And Savannah was no different. She'd get right in there and sing. So family dinners. I mentioned she loved pizza, right? Pizza and beer, or pizza and maybe a Truly's or something like that. Yeah, she loved her pizza and beer. Starbucks. Those who know, she loved coffee too. I think it was a Java chip Frappuccino was her favorite. Super Bowl Sunday. was her last Sunday gathering with us. And she'd mentioned, she's like, I'm gonna be on FTEP for like 2 months. I'm gonna have day shift, Monday through Friday, weekends off. And this is gonna be great because I'm gonna come here every Sunday because I love the food, right? I don't know if it was the food or just the company, but she made every Sunday family dinner if she could. Camping trips, there was a number of them. Boating, tubing, water skiing, or trying to water ski, at least in my case, or just hanging around the campsites. I remember coming into the campsite at one point, and I see Savannah and Tara, her sister, off to the side a little bit, and they had this box like propped up with like this stick or something, you know. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're gonna catch a squirrel. And Savannah was like, she was dead set. She was a determined person. So a few minutes went by, then you hear the box, boom, right, on the ground. They're like, oh my gosh, right? Who got him? And you see this box moving around the ground because the squirrel's trying to get out, right? And the squirrel did get out. Found a low part in the ground, scurried under and took off. The next year, they tried again. And I apologize if I don't get part of this story right, but my wife brought a bug catcher, okay, and it came from North Carolina. It's just a small wire meshed kind of a container to give to the girls so they could try again. And lo and behold, they caught another squirrel. Tara runs, gets some tape, tapes the whole thing up, right? Left some room at the top so that fresh air, right? And then my dad took the girls into town to go get like a cage, okay? So they could put the squirrel in. And I don't even know if that's legal, but whatever, right? Taking a squirrel from the nature, I don't know. But before they could get back, the squirrel actually chewed its way through the wire mesh and got out. Yeah. Those are the kind of stories we remember about Savannah. I really had a great chance to see her blossom into the adult that she was. And it was really, really great to see just in the last couple of years. She was determined and strong, like we've said, double major in college, right? She had anxiety, for those of you who didn't know. She battled a little bit of anxiety. She fought through it and controlled it, even to the point where she didn't have to take any medication or anything, and she was doing good. She also helped my daughter at times, Kira, kind of work through parts of her anxiety. I was talking to her because I also have anxiety from time to time about feelings and emotions and how to work through and control certain things, and that was fantastic. Some of you may know, may not know, she had a side business of photography. It was called Lautenbach Photography. She did class pictures for Kira. She did graduation pictures for Justin. And I think maybe an engagement photos or something for some friends of ours. It's just sticking in my brain, but I can't remember who. She bought a house, secured a job with the sheriff's office. She first worked in records from January 3rd of 22 to January 29th and 23. And she worked in reception and booking and video in the intake area. She made lots of friends there, both in the records department and on the corrections side. She often talked to me about the people that she was meeting and the experiences that she was having with those people, with a lot of joy and excitement. She really, really loved talking about other people's lives to other people, like sharing lives with others. That was big for her. She got hired January 30th for corrections, but she, like I said, she had a very determined personality, and she was calling me and doing things with me even before she got hired. I don't know if part of it was nerves or she just wanted to get a head start on things. She came over to the house. I gave her like about an hour firearms safety class, and we practiced a little bit, and then took her to the range, safe fire up in the Vancouver area. She was doing great. Actually, she was a really fast learner. That's one thing that really sticks in my mind about her. Then, right before she got hired, she was asking me all sorts of things. Hey, what kind of undershirts do I wear? You know, what kind of socks should I buy? And I'm just like, what, girl? Like, but I think it was that amount of determination that just made the difference for her, and she wanted to do good. Parts of their new hire training from when I was with her, she was strong. We went through defensive tactics, OC, taser. OC, she decided to go first. She's like, I'm gonna get this done. And she did it. And that was the first time. So with ROC exposure, people go through like this course, and they hit bags and they yell, right? That's the first time I really heard her yell. And like this guttural, raw, right, kind of thing. And it was coming out. And I was like, oh, you're gonna be perfect for this job, right? It was good to hear. Taser, she wavered a little bit. She actually told me later she had a little panic attack, a little anxiety attack, and she goes, "Man, I haven't felt like that in a long time." But she worked through it, and she did the taser exposure as well. So she was strong and she was determined. Like I mentioned, I know I'm up here and I'm taking a long time. Kira, I'm sorry, not Kira. Savannah never really liked people giving compliments to her. But that's what we're doing, right? She's probably rolling her eyes right now if she could see this, right? She made a lot of friends in the jail when she was working there. So I have a few things that I want to say that they gave me, so that their word can go on as well. Okay. So this one, so it's just a few. It's not many. This one is from Corey Records. Here's a swing shift story to share involving Savannah. One day we were talking about our middle names. Okay. Everyone was trying to guess Savannah's. She gave us a clue, though. Her middle name is also the name of a jewelry store. Okay. They're all guessing unsuccessfully. So someone, Corey, right, guessed Ben Bridge. Savannah Ben Bridge Lautenbach. Yes, that's right. Laughter erupted at this point, and she was then known as BB around the office. Yeah. Obviously, she told them her real middle name, and that was Kay. The only jewelry store that nobody ever guessed. This is from Kelly Hansen. Savannah was always someone who would walk into a room and show her love to everyone. She was always asking you how you were doing, and she was genuinely wanting to know everyone. I felt so loved and appreciated by her at all times. She was a friend that I would go to for advice, support, and if I needed a good laugh. She was funny, loving, strong, and determined. I will always remember her love, her smile, her funny jokes, positive personality, and what a kind and genuine soul she was. I miss her already. And from Rosanna Fleming. Savannah is considered one of our babies. She was one of the youngsters in our unit. Coincidentally, sometimes our youngest members were assigned at the same post. And the staff would jokingly call them the children's corner. Ruth Tees called her a lovely soul, and someone who would always offer to help her peers. If it wasn't busy at video and intake, she would wash dishes, clean the workspace, always thinking of others and willing to stay for overtime if staffing was short. I remember how calm she was when they discovered one of the ASCs overdosed in the intake floor bathroom. She handled it like a champ. She dealt with the pressure that way, calm and composed. She went and grabbed some Narcan and went over and assisted the medical staff when that happened. She was friendly, nice to everyone, and very inclusive. She was transparent and an open book and spoke of her love for her siblings. Excuse me. Upside down. This is from Missy. Savannah was the type of person who light up a room with her smile and overall warmth. Her seamless ability to work with all the records and other support staff helping no matter what was truly selfless. She responded to that crisis on the booking floor. She came in on overtime, never had a bad attitude. I found the stories of her life to be difficult for a grown adult to navigate, but she astonished me with her grit to persevere. My last memory of her was watching her smile and take in all the people she said she would miss so much. I kept putting my arm around her and telling her we were all right here when she needed us. She is the one who will be stamped in our hearts forever. I feel lucky I had the opportunity to get to know this sweet girl. She was truly amazing. From Jordan Dawson. I met Savannah at the records office. She started a few months before I did. On my first day at work, she introduced herself to me and was so excited to have someone in the office her age. From that moment on, we became good friends. We would talk about how our weekends were and what new updates she had for me buying her new house. And how we both lived in Vancouver pretty close to each other. Savannah and I would text each other every day. She knew I liked cats and would send cat videos of her cats playing, and it was amazing. She enjoyed being able to share cat stories with me. We would smile and laugh about all the time, talking about our cats. We shared stories about her fish and mine. She had fish. Cleaning the tank and tasks for taking care of the fish. During Christmas, we were hosting a Secret Santa. At the end, I discovered she was my Secret Santa. I asked her about it, and she smiled and was so happy to be my Secret Santa. She told me she enjoyed getting me the gifts she did, and I knew I was going to love them. She would send me updates about getting her new job and all the tests she had to take and to pass and how she was doing in the training unit. She was so excited to have only 1 week left and then come back to the jail and see everybody. Then from one of her close friends, Ashley. I met Savannah when she was records tech with MCSO and immediately saw qualities in her that made me think, I want to be her friend. I was excited when Savannah told me that she was putting in for corrections. I couldn't wait to have the opportunity to train her. From watching her work in records, I knew she'd be an excellent fit. She was dedicated to excellence. She had the confidence to become a strong leader. She was eager to learn. She embodied the values of the sheriff's office. Savannah quickly made her way into my circle of friends. She was fun, generous, and always down for an adventure. 5 days before she passed, I was able to share some precious news with her as we were both looking forward to celebrating our growing family with her. Thank you.
Thank you all very much for joining us today. I am Multnomah County Sheriff Nicole Morrissey O'Donnell, and I appreciate everyone being here to honor the life and service of Deputy Savannah Lautenbach. To Savannah's family, on behalf of the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, we extend our deepest condolences during this extremely difficult and tough time as you grieve the sudden and tragic loss of Savannah. As I reflect on Savannah's life and service to our agency and for our community, I see those here today who treasured and cherished their relationship with her. Also those who supported and worked alongside her mother Karen and father Todd, who dedicated their lives to serving community at the Bureau of Emergency Communications and the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, as well as her aunt and uncle, Kathleen and Eric, who continue to work alongside us at the Sheriff's Office. Today is not only a tribute to her service, but an opportunity to share and recognize the bright and caring person Savannah was. It is a testament to the immense and positive impact she had on her family, her friends, and her coworkers. Savannah began her career with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office in 2022 in the Corrections Records Unit. Through her time there, she made new friends, she energized the unit, and nearly everyone connected with her in a positive way. She was a bright light who built relationships quickly, and as you've heard, she had big, big dreams. As I was learning about the positive impacts she made with her coworkers, I would like to share some of the statements from them. Savannah was friendly and helpful, had a kind disposition, and was eager to learn, and she was always willing to help out where it was needed. She was a great team member. We were lucky to have her in records, and she was an asset to our agency. Savannah always came to work with the best attitude, and people truly looked forward to working with her. She had an infectious positivity about her. And Savannah had goals, and you could tell that she had the drive and the determination to reach any goal she put her mind to. Later in 2022, Savannah had aspirations to continue her career growth with our agency, and she began learning everything she could about our corrections division. She developed relationships with deputies to mentor and guide her through the next steps in the process to move into the role of corrections deputy. In 2023, I had the opportunity to swear in Savannah as a corrections deputy. in what was my first new hire ceremony since taking the office of sheriff. It was a special day, welcoming her into a new uniformed role in our agency, seeing her family and friends so excited about this very special day really epitomized for me what I want all of our new employees and their supporters and family members to feel as they begin their career journey with MCSO. Prior to the ceremony, I had an opportunity to talk with her, and she was so enthusiastic. It was evident in her smile and in her overall mannerisms. Savannah knew she was going to do great things at Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. She had a goal, and she wasn't shy about sharing it. She knew she was going to be a sergeant as soon as she was eligible to apply. She had a true dedication to service and jumping into this tough work, even at such a critical time in our society and in public safety. That will be a memory that I hold forever as we celebrate her today. Although Savannah was at our organization for a short time, she truly made an impact on everyone she had contact with, and she proudly served our community each and every day. Because of Savannah's remarkable character and kindness, she is embedded in the collective memory of our sheriff's office. We will remember her for years to come, and that will also show up in our care and support for family who works alongside us. In closing, as a symbol to honor and remember Deputy Savannah Lautenbach, I have a presentation to her family from the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you so much, Sheriff O'Donnell, for that. It was a powerful presentation to the family. Savannah just honored you, and you honor her. And we are honored to be here with you guys. We really are. We're so thankful, though, for the career path that Savannah took, and I know you are. There is no regret to that at all. And I want you to know, as a church, Good Shepherd Community Church, people like Savannah and many of you who protect our community, I want you to know we appreciate your service from this church. Being willing, like Savannah, and hearing the story of how she was willing to step into places and help revive somebody who was in a bad place. We tend to forget what people are willing to do in putting themselves in harm's way for the safety of our community. And I hope you know that we honor you, and we want you to know, and probably would be true, that Savannah herself would be honoring you as well, which is why we here at Good Shepherd Community Church have right next door a first responder house next door for all first responders so that they can have a place of refreshment and a place to rest. We honor you. And I think that probably Savannah would want you honored as well. So if you do me a favor, those of you who serve our community, first responders, correctional officers, police officers, would you please stand so we can honor you because she would honor you. Would you please stand so we could give you honor? Please stand. We want to thank you for your service. Thank you, all of you. She chose the career path that many of you have been on for some time. The men and women who have seen things in our community and in our cities that are things that are unfathomable, but willing to do the hard thing, willing to go through the training, even the tasing, of which I can't even imagine. And many of you have done that. To be willing to give your lives for others, unimaginable. The real heroes, the people that are willing to go through hard training. And as I was talking to Karen, even her own future was even looking at possibly going towards the FBI. What an eye to help us out. What an eye for our own security. True heroes. Savannah's a hero, her parents are heroes, and we're surrounded by men and women who are heroes. And she would honor you. And so this afternoon, you have honored her. And we've honored her from the very beginning, and we will honor to the very end. And whether you knew her or not, I hope you know that the family is very thankful that you are here, that you gave your time to come and be with the family, and to also honor those who are willing to protect us. We know that, as had been mentioned, that her impact will be felt. And we know that there's so much loss, it doesn't make sense. And with loss, there comes pain, and many of you have seen much of it. And with it all comes questions, and we know that. But I do want to say this, that no parent should ever outlive their own child. And I know that many in this room, you understand loss and you understand suffering, and many of you have witnessed it in ways that are unimaginable. And some of you have adult children, I would imagine. And those of us who do have adult children, like Todd and Karen, our love for them never changes, no matter their age. We just, when they're living with us, we can't send them to their rooms anymore. But we still feel all of their pains, and we live through them, don't we? We see what Todd and Karen are going through, and those of us who have adult children hug our own. And we're thankful for them that they still breathe this air. And we know that those of you that know her, there's going to be a lot of missing. And those of us who've lost our own children know what that's like. You will miss her presence. You'll miss her smell. You can still hear the voice, can't you? And those texts that used to come and you wish they would. And those of you in this room, you know what that is like. And you could be the most supportive because you haven't forgotten. Of course, her absence as a correctional officer, we just got done listening to that testimony. We know it will be felt, even though it was short-lived. But I will tell you, as a pastor of many years, and having 6 adult children of my own, I can tell you there are some truths that I know to be true as a dad, and as a husband, and as a father, and as a grandfather, and many of you know what this is like as well. There's some things that hold on to us when things hit and come our way, when we don't even expect it. When we're moving along a day and it's just seeming normal, and all of a sudden you get the phone call, and now life has changed. So Todd and Karen and the family, they're like many of us in this room. We just cannot forget them. We got to hold on to them because that's what we do, isn't it? The two things that I do think of is that little thing, that little phrase that says, seek God. Sometimes we look at that and we say, well, why? I get it. It makes sense. Oh, why? Many of you have seen things that none of us have ever seen. And we do ask that question probably from some of you more than others. But the first thing that I do think of is seek him. It's okay. Because I want to say that the God that we teach here is a God that has emotion. That's why the Bible says Jesus sympathizes with us in all of our own weaknesses. He's not a God that goes, oh, I wonder what that's like. Not at all. He created you in his image, and so he knows you better than you know yourself. That's why when you seek him, he knows exactly what you're saying. He doesn't go, I wonder what that's like. Not at all. That's why the Bible has verses like this that make sense. He says, why are you so downcast, O my soul, David says, and why are you in turmoil within me? Meaning, this is a guy that knows suffering and pain like none other. And then he says, I hope in God, and for I shall again praise him for my salvation. He says, again, but right now I'm not. Again, but right now I'm really not. Because I'm not understanding the circumstances. And then he says, my soul is cast down within me. I'll remember you. You see, that's when he says, just seek him. See, the Bible always makes himself available to those of us who hit the bottom. And I don't think there's many people in this room that don't know what that's like to hit the bottom. We know that this dear family that is before us has. I mean, if you've been great friends, you've been calling them and texting them and standing by them, and you love them, and some of you understand. And you know what it's like to be alone in your own bedrooms and you have no one else to call but God. Everything's quiet. And some of us standing here know what that's like. And some of our police officers know what it's like to walk into the doors of so many individuals in shock. And they have nowhere to go but silence. And that's why we hold on to each other. And that's why it says seek him. Why? Because he's present. He's not quiet. We get quiet. He's not quiet. He's there. And I remember some of those days, and so do you, when the doors were shut and the phone's not ringing and people aren't coming over and the food ceases and it's quiet. But God isn't. No one's knocking on the door, but he's not. And yet he's ever present. And that's why Jesus says he came full of grace and he came full of truth. Meaning Jesus says, I came with mercy and grace because I understand your physical and spiritual condition. I know exactly what you're in. I clearly do. That's why I love it when he says this. Let not your heart be troubled. When he says to his disciples who know they're about to move towards despair, let not your hearts be troubled. Here's a great answer. Seek. Believe in God. Believe also in me. Why? Because in my Father's house are many rooms. And if it were not so, would I tell you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may also be. And you know what? You know where I'm going. Meaning Jesus is saying this to these guys. He's saying God is alive. Seek him. So what do we do when we hit the bottom? He's not quiet. You and I are. You can actually start talking. And for those of you that know him, when you're in those places and those moments, he's not quiet to you at all. He wants you to find comfort in him and remember his promises. And those of you that probably don't know him, you can still seek him. And guess what he'll do? He'll open up that door and he says, come on in. Because my weight and my yoke is light. I want to take it away from you. And so you can go to church and kind of come and say, well, what is this thing about? Because it's getting quiet. But I want to say not only seek him, but I tell you what is most important is this holding on to one another. Did you know that family is everything? It's everything. God instituted family because nobody wants to be alone. Family is everything. Brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and grandmothers and grandfathers and cousins. Some of you in this room have a lot of them and some of you have a few. But when times get rough, man, do we need family. Stay together. Stay together. And help this family stay together. And for friends, there's nothing like friends. There's nothing like best friends. And you know your level of friendship, and I encourage you, because there's nothing like that in 2 or 3 or 4 months that you never forget them. Just like you wouldn't want to be forgotten yourself. You wouldn't want to be forgotten, so let's not forget them. And so I encourage us to seek him. And I also encourage us to seek one another. It's good. And again, I want to thank the men and women in this room who, like Savannah and her family, protect our communities. We honor you. We honor her. And so right now we're going to watch a slideshow. So let's do that together.
Someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds dreams that you did too. Oh why can't oh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like a lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere.
I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side. I can only imagine what my eyes will see when your face is before me. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine when that day comes and I find myself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when all I would do is forever, forever worship you. I can only imagine, yeah. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine when all I would do is forever, forever worship you. I can only imagine.
You can tell your old man you'll do some largemouth fish in another town. You just got too much on your plate to bait and cast a line. You can always put a rain check in his hand till you can't. You can keep putting off forever with that girl whose heart you hold, swearing that you'll last someday further down the road. You can always put a diamond on her hand till you can't. If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, till you can. There's a box of greasy parts sitting in the trunk of that 65, still waiting on you and your granddad to bring it back to life. You can always get around to fixing up that Pontiac till you can't. If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, till you can't. So take that phone call from your mama and just talk away, 'cause you'll never know how bad you wanna till you can't someday. Don't wait on tomorrow, 'cause tomorrow may not show. Say your sorries, your I love yous, 'cause man, you never know. If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, till you can. Yeah, if you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can, until you can. Till you can. Yeah. Take it.
You're hollering. You're hooting and hollering.
A lot of life, huh? Thanks for being here. Would you do me a favor and stand for the retrieval of the color and remain standing until the Lautenbach family has been escorted out of the auditorium, and then at that time you're free to join them in the foyer for some refreshments.